Hello? Oh.
Right. Straight out front.
These encounters all share one thing in common, something hidden watching from the edge of the woods, only revealing itself for seconds. From a pale figure standing motionless on a trail camera to a massive shape suddenly charging at a group of kids, and even glowing eyes staring back from the darkness near Mount Shasta, each moment feels just close enough to be real. But if all of this was captured on camera, what's actually moving out there when no one's supposed to see it? On November 15th, 2024, a story was shared in a Rocky Mountain Sasquatch group recounting a disturbing Bigfoot encounter from 3 years prior. The event took place at a mobile home park near Mount Shasta, California, where the witness reported that something shook her trailer, growled outside the window, and struck the walls over 2 consecutive nights. Afterward, when she went outside, she saw glowing eyes staring at her from the darkness. Later, her companion also noticed a tall, dark shape moving nearby. Some suggested it might have been a bear, but the deep growling and the figure's outline didn't match normal bear behavior. The area is known for strange sounds, and Mount Shasta has a long record of Bigfoot sightings. Could this have been a real encounter? While exploring the new River Gorge in West Virginia, Owen discovered a massive rock formation that, from a distance, resembled a constructed structure more than a natural mountain. It merged with the surrounding terrain, yet up close the shapes and patterns seemed unusually symmetrical. One area even appeared like a giant doorway carved into the stone. Adding to the mystery were large, deep footprints spread across its surface. Some believe it is the result of natural erosion, while others question whether something enormous once existed there. A camper's trail camera, set up deep in a remote forest, far from any nearby town, ended up recording something deeply unsettling. The footage shows a pale, human-like figure standing completely still and staring straight at the camera while making strange, unnatural sounds. Online opinions were split, with some believing the clip was real, while others were convinced it had been staged. This unsettling clip, uploaded on September 30th, 2024, included a caption claiming a Bigfoot had been spotted inside an abandoned building. The footage raises disturbing questions. Why would a creature like that be moving through a decaying structure? And was it using the place as a hidden refuge? With no additional context, its authenticity cannot be verified, yet it remains chilling as possible evidence. One night, while walking home, a person began hearing unusual sounds near an old fort-like structure in an empty field. As they recorded, while passing a lone pillar, they noticed a humanoid figure crouched in the darkness. It appeared to cover its face, yet its eyes suddenly fixed on the camera. In that moment of fear, both reacted. The figure seemed ready to lunge, and the person panicked, stopped recording, and ran. Whatever it was, or whether it was real, remains uncertain, but encountering it alone at night would be terrifying. This man was hiking through the forest when he suddenly came across something startling. A massive figure rose above the brush, its outline clearly, large, broad shoulders, long, powerful arms and a steady, purposeful stride moving through the trees. The sight was unsettling enough to make anyone freeze. With a figure of that size and posture, many have wondered the same thing. Could this have been a real encounter with something genuine? Back in 2008, a group of campers filmed their boating trip along the upper Mackenzie River in Oregon. Everything seemed completely normal at the time, but later when they reviewed the footage, they noticed something unsettling in the background, something none of them had seen in person. The video is shaky due to the fast-moving water, but when paused and examined on the left side of the frame, a large brown figure can be seen standing among the bushes. What makes it even more disturbing is that this same stretch of the river has been the site of several reported Bigfoot sightings over the years. Reddit user Waldenville shared this clip, and what it reveals is deeply unsettling. A chilling scream echoed through a remote Canadian forest, leaving many viewers wondering if it could be linked to Bigfoot. Whatever generated that sound seemed to be concealed somewhere in the shadows of an otherwise quiet and peaceful wilderness. On November 12, 2024, a strange discovery was reported in the dense forests of South Garo Hills, Meghalaya, India. Two large weathered footprints were found pressed into separate moss-covered rocks along a riverbank. The impressions appeared old, heavily worn, and firmly embedded, suggesting they had been there for a long time. The finding drew attention both locally and internationally, as the prints resembled those linked to the Mundurong, a creature from regional folklore. The Mundurong is described as a large, hairy, bipedal humanoid similar to Bigfoot, believed to inhabit the subtropical forests of the Garo Hills where the prints were discovered. A lone hiker had gone deep into the wilderness, taking in the silence and losing track of time. After hours on the trail, he moved into a dense stand of pine trees and heard heavy rustling, something large forcing its way through the brush. Thinking it was a big animal, he pulled out his phone to record. But what appeared on camera was far more disturbing. This was no ordinary creature at all. What do you think? A group of kids was exploring a quiet forest trail when their outing suddenly turned terrifying.
Run, run, run!
A massive figure abruptly appeared at the tree line and charged toward them at full speed, giving no warning and showing only raw aggression. The footage captures the children panicking as they run, screaming in fear. The creature appears huge, bipedal, and clearly territorial. In that moment, escaping was the only smart choice, because when something that size comes barreling toward you, survival matters far more than getting the perfect shot. This clip features a 28-year-old man from Pennsylvania who went out for an evening walk with his dog in the Appalachian Mountains. Suddenly, he heard odd sounds, and his off-leash dog became alarmed and ran into the forest toward the noise. The man searched for 2 hours but couldn't locate it and eventually recorded this video. He made it back home unharmed, but the dog was never found. What the footage actually captured remains uncertain. Jordan and his friend were exploring an abandoned resort in the Catskills, New York, a place known for ghost sightings and unusual activity. Once inside, the atmosphere immediately felt off.
Hello? No. Yo, nah. Wait. Look at that.
They noticed what appeared to be a mannequin, but as they moved closer, it seemed to shift slightly. Moments later, distinct footsteps echoed from outside, making it clear they weren't alone. With the resort's dark history and its rumored mafia connections, they quickly decided to leave some places hold too much of the past and too many unanswered questions to risk staying any longer. A Reddit user searching for a cave in a wooded area of Middle Tennessee ended up discovering unusual impressions in the mud. The prints were small, nearly child-sized, with toes pressed deeply into the ground, as if gripping with each step. Many viewers felt they appeared far too human to belong to any typical animal. While the finding didn't confirm anything, it certainly sparked curiosity, with some even wondering if the prints could belong to a young Bigfoot. While out collecting wood, a man suddenly heard the sound of heavy footsteps nearby. Alarmed, he quickly hid behind a tree, staying still as he waited to see what would appear. A short time later, he managed to record something.
Серега, что это? Серега, это нахуй, Серега. Серега,
A large figure moving just a short distance away. Its motion seemed similar to a human, yet its size was far greater than what could realistically be considered human. The witness later described it as the most terrifying moment of his life, convinced that what he saw was far from ordinary. This unsettling footage was recorded by Igor, a man living deep in the remote Siberian forest of Russia. His cabin, surrounded by dense wilderness on all sides, is no stranger to the typical sounds of the night. But in recent days, he had been hearing something different, strange low growls echoing from the nearby trees. Although Igor was familiar with the usual calls of wildlife, these noises stood apart from anything he had heard before. On this particular night, the sounds returned louder and more persistent than ever. Determined to find their source, he picked up his night vision camera and stepped out into the darkness. What he captured would unsettle even the most composed observer. Beyond the tree line, a shadowy figure emerged, watching from the cover of night. At one point, it appeared to crouch in the grass, its attention fixed on him, as if it could see clearly, without any light. When the figure moved closer, Igor quickly retreated back into his cabin. To this day, the encounter remains unexplained, leaving only questions and speculation about what may have been moving through the forest outside his home. A hiker traveled deep into the forest, recording his journey on camera, a video that was later shared on a channel called Bigfoot King. From the outset, his discomfort was evident, as if he sensed something hidden among the trees.
Where are you? Straight up front. Straight up front. Right? Straight up front.
At one point, he spotted what looked like a normal tree trunk, but when it moved and a branch cracked, the realization hit. His camera began to tremble as fear took over. He tried to steady his hand for a better view, but the figure had already withdrawn into the dense vegetation. Its size and presence left little doubt. Overcome with fear, the hiker chose to leave the forest, deciding it was safer to get out. A series of enormous footprints lay ahead, unlike any animal tracks he had seen before. The sheer size of them made him stop trying to understand what could have left such marks. One print stood out clearly above the rest, massive, almost human in shape, yet far too large to belong to any person. In March 2025, a group traveling along a remote road noticed something unusual far in the distance. From inside their vehicle, they pulled out a phone and started recording.
¿Qué vas a comentar, Iván?
Ahí hay un gigante allá arriba en el cerro.
¿Qué?
Un güey muy alto, gigante, cabrón.
A la verga, sí es cierto, güey. Ya lo vi. Neta.
The footage captures a massive figure standing on a ridge, appearing far too large to be an ordinary person. The short clip quickly circulated online, sparking intense debate. Some viewers claimed it was evidence of Bigfoot, or even a real-life giant, while skeptics suggested it could be a visual illusion, a trick of perspective, or careful editing. Whatever the true explanation may be, the strange sight continues to drive speculation, leaving people divided over whether the camera truly captured something extraordinary. Interestingly, another individual described a similar experience while biking through John Bryant State Park in Ohio in July 2021. After a light rain overnight, they returned to find trees pushed over and branches scattered across about 150 yards of trail, completely blocking the route. What made it even more unusual was that no other areas of the park showed any signs of damage, only that single section. Both events have left people wondering what could have caused such destruction, adding to speculation about whether something more unusual may have been responsible. A man was filming deep in the mountains of Georgia when he noticed a large brown hairy figure walking upright. Its movement was calm and steady, as if it naturally belonged in that environment. The creature didn't appear to notice him and continued moving through the trees with quiet purpose. For a few seconds, the camera zoomed in. The footage is brief, but enough to spark curiosity. Was it really Bigfoot? Two friends were out in the woods when they noticed something large that didn't seem to belong there.
I see. It's right there.
Run! For a brief moment, it became clear enough to trigger panic, and they ran. Whether it was truly something unusual or simply a tree stump remains unknown, as no further details were ever provided. Can you tell what it really was? A Reddit user hiking through the Appalachian mountains was taking photos when he suddenly felt uneasy and decided to end his hike early. Later, while going over the images, he noticed a dark shape near the rocks that didn't seem to match the trees or surrounding terrain. The figure is difficult to identify, but he believes he would have recognized a bear at the time, leaving him to wonder if something else had been quietly watching him. What do you think it was? A trail camera deep in a snowy Idaho forest captured an image that startled many viewers. The photo appears to show an ape-like figure standing in the cold, its thick black hair lightly coated with snow, and a bare face displaying human-like features. No one knows who set up the camera or when it was triggered, but the snow clinging to its fur suggests it had been exposed to harsh conditions for some time. Given Idaho's long history of Bigfoot sightings, some believe it could be real, yet doubts remain. Are you convinced? In May 2025, A man uploaded a video claiming he was nearly trapped by Bigfoot.
Hello? Oh, we find out there's a freaking Sasquatch looking at us. Wait a minute, this might be the real deal, everybody. We might be face to face with a Sasquatch right now.
While exploring a forest at night, his flashlight picked up two glowing eyes in the darkness, and what started as joking quickly turned into panic when he felt something was watching him. As he ran, he fell into a hole, briefly fearing it might have been a trap.
Oh, whoa, I just sank. Oh my God. What if that's a trap? Because look, he was sitting right there. He was standing right here when we saw him.
Some viewers believe it was a territorial animal protecting its area, while others think it was misidentified wildlife. He eventually made it out safely, but what do you think he actually encountered? New trail camera images from New York have sparked debate after appearing to show a figure with noticeable muscle definition in the calves, shoulders, and triceps beneath its fur. Some believe those details suggest a real, living creature, while others insist it's nothing more than a convincing costume. Still, seeing something like this on your own camera would be unsettling. Would you think it was real or staged? A TikToker recorded his screen while using Google Maps on a tablet and switched into Street View, pausing at a field surrounded by trees. As he moved the view, a strange figure appeared with no clear facial features, yet seemed to be staring directly at the camera. No one knows what it was. Some say it could be a statue or a hidden Easter egg, but what if it wasn't? And this was actually Bigfoot. A hiker in a dense forest in Spain recorded a deep, echoing growl coming from somewhere within the trees. With no visible animal and no movement around him. The atmosphere felt off, so he left immediately after capturing the sound. When the recording spread online, it split viewers. Some pointed to wildlife, while others suspected something unknown. And to this day, the source of that growl remains unexplained. While exploring the woods, someone encountered something unusual, recorded it, and later shared the clip on Instagram. The video shows a dark, human-sized figure perched high on a tree branch, resembling a gorilla or an ape-like animal. Online reactions were divided. Some believed the size and movement suggested Bigfoot, while others thought it looked too human, possibly someone in a costume pulling a prank. A man, camping with his son at Salt Fork State Park, noticed a dark shape moving through the trees and managed to capture a short clip before they left the area. Too frightened to stay. He later uploaded the footage to his channel, H. Tausig, asking viewers to help identify what they had seen. After the clip was stabilized, brightened, and zoomed in, the figure appeared clearly bipedal, but the low quality left key details unclear. So, what do you think was moving through those woods? While hiking along a foggy trail, this person suddenly halted when a tall, dark figure appeared just off the path. Through the mist, it seemed upright and broad, with arms longer than you'd expect from a typical hiker. The fog and low resolution make it difficult to identify, but the silhouette feels unsettling. So, was it Bigfoot, another person on the trail, or simply a trick of the fog? Chris Dickinson, a Bigfoot researcher from Oklahoma, recorded a disturbing video in July 2020 while hiking deep in the forest.
I got something big and black back here. Look. Right in the middle of my screen.
he noticed fallen trees arranged in what seemed like a deliberate pattern, then briefly caught sight of a large, dark figure that disappeared when he looked again. Loud, cracking sounds followed, and farther in he came across a strange structure that appeared to be built. Looking through it, he saw a tall figure standing motionless, before a deep growl echoed with something intelligent watching and warning him to leave. A Reddit user named Taden Tracker said his great-uncle took these photos on his farm in Wisconsin sometime around 1984. The uncle, a former military man who rarely spoke about his past, often referred to these images and a short video linked to them. When the footage was later enhanced and slowed down, some viewers believed it showed a man running, while others thought it was something else entirely. Whatever he captured clearly stayed with him, so what do you think it really was? While hiking deep in the woods, someone thought they spotted a face hidden among the branches and quickly pulled out a phone to record before leaving unsettled. When they later reviewed the footage, it was still unclear what they had seen. Some viewers claimed they could clearly make out a face in the leaves, while others believed it was nothing more than pareidolia. So was it a real creature watching from the trees, or simply the mind filling in shapes that weren't there? Chad McKee resided close to the Biff River wildlife area, where one evening he captured over 8 minutes of intense, high-pitched screams echoing from the forest. Following the disappearance of nearby hogs and cattle, a neighbor installed a trail camera that later recorded disturbing footage. Residents in the area frequently describe unusual sightings and chilling sounds near the woods and along the riverbanks, which led Chad to suspect that a large, unseen creature was moving through the dense forest near his property. In another event, a pair of hikers walking beside a stream at Mount Washington noticed a crouching shape in the water and initially thought it was a bear, until it abruptly stood upright and ran away on 2 legs with wide shoulders and long arms. They suspected it might have been a young Bigfoot looking for food, but if it wasn't any known animal, what do you think they actually saw? While moving through the bush in Queensland, someone noticed a small shadowy figure standing among the vegetation. It looked shorter than a human and seemed covered in dark fur, unlike anything he had encountered before. The figure quickly fled, but he was able to take a photo. Specialists later reviewed the image, with some proposing it might be a yowie, often likened to Bigfoot. However, its smaller size and slender shape create uncertainty. So, was it an unknown creature, or simply a person after all? A hiker was disoriented for roughly 30 minutes in a forest in Sweden, when a loud human-like scream suddenly echoed through the trees.
Okay, what the f***? That was like a voice, but I don't know where. Like, it sounded like it came from, if you walk through here, I have no idea how to walk through there, because it's like, I mean, great time to pull up the camera, I guess. was great. Like screaming. That's the what? Second time I've heard screaming. It must have been longer. Yeah. No, I'm like pretty lost actually.
As he attempted to locate the trail, additional screams came from different directions, leading him to record the sounds while moving ahead. With no homes or roads nearby, the source felt disturbing. Later, viewers proposed animals such as foxes or roe deer, which can produce eerily human-like cries. The hiker eventually made it out safely, but was it only wildlife or something else entirely? Two hikers at Mount St. Helens noticed a creature moving through the grass, and at first believed it was a bear. As they began taking photos, they realized it looked nothing like one. The figure moved upright but hunched forward showed no response to being zoomed in on and had a partially hairless, almost human-like face. Some dismissed it as a hoax or a person wearing a suit, while others pointed to its gray hair and frail build, suggesting it might be an older Bigfoot. The sighting took place near Ape Canyon, an area linked to Bigfoot legends since 1924, when miners reported being attacked by ape-like creatures. In later years, there were accounts of strange bodies and remains with unusual proportions never confirmed, but continuing to fuel long-standing speculation, making these images seem less unbelievable than they first appeared. In 2018, a video from Central Oregon appeared online showing a chaotic nighttime encounter in the woods.
Oh my god, what is that?
Oh my god, it's fucking big.
Can someone get the flashlight? Go get the flashlight, Eric. Holy fuck. What the fuck is that?
Nobody, everybody's inside.
It's behind the bush again.
It's behind the ridge.
That's gotta be what that sound is.
A what?
It's behind the bush over there.
It was definitely on two legs.
Yes, it was walking.
The uploaders stated the figure they recorded was Bigfoot, claiming they had seen it before while it chased a deer. At first, many dismissed the clip as fake and mocked the claim. Years later, when it resurfaced, viewers began noticing details: the creature's height, long arms, and the genuine fear in the voices.
Hey! Hey!
Oh, that's a fucking great.
Whatever it was, something large moved through those woods that night, adding to the region's long list of unsettling sightings. A man ventured into the woods near his home after hearing odd sounds and started filming.
The size of this son of a bitch. It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here. Oh, he's getting pissed now.
As he moved ahead, a large figure came out of the darkness, saw the camera, and slowly stepped back before vanishing. He later uploaded the footage online, asking viewers for opinions. Some believe it shows Bigfoot, while others think it might be something else entirely. So, what do you think he actually encountered that night?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.